So far we have been studying about systems, and in these systems we talked about the properties of the system, exchange of mass and energy between system and surrounding. What about the composition of the systems? In chemistry, we need to take care of the chemical composition as well as the phase of the system. For example, you see here, these are a set of balloons. Each balloon forms a system. In each balloon, there is only one phase, that is air, the gas phase. Over here you see in the second picture, this is a cylinder which is closed, and in this cylinder there is liquid mercury, there is ethanol and the vapors of both. So how many phases? Liquid mercury is actually a metal. ETOH, that is ethanol, is liquid, that is one phase. Liquid mercury is a second phase, and vapors of both, that is a third phase. So this is a heterogeneous system. So we have seen what are the different types of system: homogeneous, heterogeneous, with respect to what? The phase of the system. Now we come to the components of a system. A component is a chemically independent constituent in a system. So, for example, if there is a mixture of silver and lead, you can see two different chemicals over here, two different elements, silver and lead. And the two metals are miscible into each other in liquid form but not in solid form. Together they do not form any new compound, right? Yet they form two component system of the same phase, that is the liquid phase, when they are not mixing into each other and forming a new compound. They mix, just remain in the physical state different. They mix into each other, remain different in the physical state, but they do not form any new chemical compound. So here we have a two component system with one phase. What are the components? Silver and lead. What is a phase? The liquid phase. Next we will see a system with one component and three phase. For example, you have ice in equilibrium with water, in equilibrium with water vapor. Here you can see the three phases are solid, liquid and gas. So this is three phase, but the component is same, that is water. It has only one chemical constitution. Now, what do components tell us? Components are essential to understand because the minimum number of species in a system required to determine the phase of the system must be known to us. So components help us to understand what is the phase present in the system. Now think of Gibbs phase rule. We have studied phase, we have studied the components. What part is remaining to be understood is now this F, degree of freedom. So F is actually defined as what? The number of intensive properties required to describe the system. Here the number 2 represents the two independent properties of temperature and pressure. This F has got nothing to do with 2. 2 is just a parameter which is put in Gibbs phase equation or Gibbs phase rule to make the equality stand. Now it will be 1, it can be 0, it can be 3 depending on the different systems. Let us see how. The number 2 represents two independent properties, temperature and pressure, and both are needed to describe the system. Which system? Water changing into water vapor at 1 atmospheric pressure and 100 degrees Celsius. If any of these two parameters is changed, the equilibrium in the system will be disturbed. So here you see this is actually a reversible system over here, reversible equation or reversible process where water is changing into water vapor and water vapor changes back into water. That means at 1 atmospheric pressure and 100 degrees Celsius, there is equilibrium between liquid water and water vapor. Can that number be 1? I told you yes. How? Let us see. If you take a system of sodium chloride solid and it is in equilibrium with its solution in water, that is sodium chloride in water, and that is again in equilibrium with the vapors of that solution, then either temperature or pressure but not and pressure is important. Why? Because the solubility of sodium chloride depends on either temperature or pressure. So then only one parameter is important. So that becomes what then? P plus F is equal to C minus 1. Getting it? Now next we will see what are the importance of Gibbs phase rule. Why are we studying it so much? If we know Gibbs phase rule, we can apply it to physical or chemical equilibria. That means by applying that rule to these equilibria, what do we get? We can come to know the behavior of the system under different parameters. Then how this behavior can be changed or can be varied by changing the parameters or by say altering the parameters. Third point, it helps us to classify the equilibrium states in terms of phases. As we have seen earlier, we have seen so many phases: mercury, ethanol, as well as the vapors, three-phase system, water, ice and water vapor, again a three-phase system. Next, it identifies what is that it now? The Gibbs phase rule. So this it is the Gibbs phase rule. It identifies that different systems with same degree of freedom have same behavior. This is something very crucial in thermodynamics, and we will learn of it later, as you see when we go into this vast subject of thermodynamics. Are there limitations? Yes, there are. We'll discuss next time.